Hi, I'm Danielle Hartman, and if you're a lover of craft beer, you're in the right place. This is Poured in PA, a series sharing the stories of Pennsylvania's craft beer industry. Just like in our last episode, we're sharing stories of married couples who have joined forces to create a name for themselves in Pennsylvania's craft beer industry. Verona, PA is the setting of our first tale of love and brews. The ladies of Inner Groove Brewing tell us the story of how they started this eclectic, music-loving brewery with their husbands.
Sure, yeah. So, hold on one sec.
What
am I talking about?
The beer.
Inner Groove is in Verona, PA. We opened in 2019. There's two couples that own it. We met over beer shares, actually, traveling around the world, getting different beers, coming back here, sharing them, and having vinyl nights in the basement of our house, actually. And then just became a passion. The guys were already brewing, so we took it out on the road to see if everybody liked it as much as we did, and it seemed like it was a hit. So Kelly and I decided, I think the guys thought we were joking.
Right.
We said we're going to do a business plan. They said, sure, go right ahead. It just snowballed after that.
I was going to say a week later, we had been typing it all up, and it was becoming a real thing. A lot of it was that Kevin and Tim were brewing a lot. And so we were giving it to our neighbors. Our neighbors would stay around longer than they're welcome sometimes.
And they weren't paying.
Yes, and they weren't paying. So we figured if you don't do this as a living and make money on it, we've probably got to scale back. We had 6 beers on tap. It was a lot. So they always say make your passion your profession. So even though the guys have day jobs, we're transitioning into making our passion our profession.
It 100% was a scary job.
We're thirsty. Yes.
I was at the same company for 20 years. It just wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. This is what I love, and it's fun. The industry is fun, the people are fun, everything about it is fun. I mean, there are struggles, right? You own a business, you definitely have to do all that stuff too, but at the end of the day, we're drinking beers at the end, so it's fun.
Yeah, and I was a 6th grade teacher, so for me, I always say dealing with really drunk people is like dealing with 6th graders, so it prepared me for that.
And that's why Kelly runs the front of the house. She was a teacher for kids, now she...
Yes, now I babysit my staff, I babysit the drunk people. Yeah, it's similar, I think, for sure.
I think most importantly, when we opened, it was important for us to have something for everybody. We didn't want a board of just IPAs or just wheats. We wanted a variety.
I think the variety came from the fact that we all like different beers. So we all decided we wanted to make sure that we were reflected in our patrons, for sure. So we always have a brown, or in the winter, a stout or a porter. We always have sours on. I'm the sour girl. We have the IPAs. Right now we have a wheat that's coming out tomorrow. We have a red. And then we always have the My Verona Golden Ale, which is our flagship beer here for the town Verona. So we have that as well. But I think from our travels and our beer shares, we have found that so many people want such a variety that we didn't want to be pigeonholed into something that we were good at. We wanted to be good at everything.
So Inner Groove Brewing is music themed. Inner Groove itself is what they termed a hidden track on a record. So because this started with a love of beer and a love of music, we wanted to bring it to something that everybody could enjoy, and that was kind of our passion. We wanted to share it. There are a lot of things in the building that are music themed. All of our beer names have some kind of musical reference. Sometimes it's a little easier to pick out than others, but sometimes we like you to have to figure it out, and customers definitely like that as well.
Right, it's like the Easter egg, like trying to figure it out. So what we do is once the beer's brewed, we find some kind of connection to a song lyric. So if it's a German beer, it might be a German band. And then we pick out lyrics that we like, and then we send that album cover to our graphic artist, and that becomes our label.
And we didn't know it at the time, but it's become a lot easier for us to name beers because that is one of the hardest things.
It is.
I mean, how many breweries are there right now? We're all trying to figure out what the name of beer. So at least we have a starting point.
Yeah.
We have, okay, we're looking for something music at least themed, and Kelly and Kevin go out and find something that give us a starting point. But yeah. It's been good.
I'm not here.
I had to yell at them to get off their phone. All three of them.
Well, we're trying to figure out golf plans for this weekend. So what's it like working with your husbands?
You know, that's...
Our husbands still have their day jobs, but because of COVID, they're working at home. So we see them all day, and now we see them all night. So there is no me time, it's all our time. But on the other hand, I don't know if we would ever want to share it with anyone else than our husbands. We have no other investors. We have no one else but ourselves. So I think it's either our success or our failure. And so I don't think I would want to do it with anyone else. Half, 50% of the business
is woman-owned.
is woman-owned.
For any woman that is interested in brewing, I think the biggest thing is just to put yourself out there. I know there are people interested in it, they're just intimidated or scared, but just put yourself out there. There are many different jobs in a brewery, so just put yourself out there and join the industry.
And I mean, the men actually embrace it. I was worried that there would be a struggle, kind of, that we were like kind of breaking into something. Not that we're the pioneers, but it's embraced. The minute we discuss or even mention that we should include women, everyone, the guild and everyone are like completely interested in it. So it's very welcoming. And so, like you said, if anyone would be hesitant, just go do it. Just jump in and do it.
It's fun.
It is fun.
And there's beer. Oh, there's not beer.
And it's empty.
Next, we head to Wolf Brewing Company in Mechanicsburg. This husband and wife team have taken an award-winning homebrew career and turned it into a beautiful new brewery.
It's been a long process. So for years we've done beer festivals, and we've always had a dream of opening up a brewery restaurant. And it's actually her bright idea. Years ago she said, we want to open a brew pub, you need to enter some competitions. She said, win 5 awards and we'll get serious about it. So a month later I had 5 awards, and she said, now it's every state in the country. So I thought, you're crazy, we're very competitive. And I said, fine, you're on, I'll get 100 just to spite you. But I didn't even think that it would ever happen.
I had faith in him, yes, but I thought it would take like 10 years to do. So that's why when I gave him the first goal of just 5 states, that kind of happened within a couple of months, really. So I was like, okay, kind of need to buy some more time with this one. So that's when I gave him the goal, every state. And it took you a couple of years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. Couldn't believe it happened. So after that was complete, we really dove in deep and started designing buildings and finding various locations. Where we're at now is actually something we were interested in from the very beginning, but they kept telling us 2025.
And we knew we wanted to build it from the ground up. We had looked at other locations where, you'd have to basically blow out the ceiling or the floor just to accommodate the brewery. We wanted ample parking.
Somehow we thank the Lord every day this happened. We talked to the developers, Cliff and Claire from Landmark, and kept pushing. You need to have a brewery restaurant in your neighborhood. And they said, welcome to the island one day when we had a meeting, and said, we'll push everything up to 2020 for you. So that was unbelievable that it all worked out. We wanted to make sure that it looked unique and different. A lot of inspiration from our travels, Colorado especially. The fireplaces, we have 2 double-sided fireplaces. That was something we saw a lot out there, and not as much in central Pennsylvania. So we tried to bring a little outside of Pennsylvania influence, just to give it something that's unique and different. Our lives became very, very busy. Just designing the building alone was very time consuming because we didn't want to miss something, and then getting here and being open, we're lucky to get 6 hours of sleep.
So you're pretty much anything related to brewing is what Derek does. So, and then I'm the business aspect of it all.
She's front of house, back of house, managing the staff.
Hiring, taxes, accounting, payroll.
But she's on the cooking line occasionally. I'm dishwashing occasionally. Just we're short staffed, and I really need to just be stuck in there and chained to that place because there's so much to do, but there's so much out here that needs accomplished as well. I still work in medical sales, in the OR a couple days a week, and I enjoy that side of my life too. I mean, it's important to have some type of money coming in because anything coming into our brewery is going to the bank. It's been nice having that science background where I know a lot more about chemistry and the biochemistry that's going on in the brewery, so that helped translate over, and with microscope and looking at yeast cells and understanding more of the biochemistry and the whole brewing process has been really rewarding, and I really enjoy it, which is funny. It comes full circle like that. So we always try to have a vast majority of our beers are different. We don't want to have just IPAs, just stouts, just sours. So we try to have a eclectic variety of several styles: pilsners, Czech amber lagers, cream ales, IPAs, sour IPAs, stouts, porters, brown ales, saisons, Belgian beers. We want to make everybody excited about a certain style that they enjoy. Even some that are historic that you don't see as often.
Yeah, and the diverse lineup of traditional styles versus non-traditional. That's some of our most positive feedback, is that we did open with kind of a broad scale of options as opposed to kind of just limiting it to one variety.
Yeah, it made it more difficult because every new beer, it's like brewing for the first time, especially on a new system where I went from 5-6 gallon batches to 310. So it was a big learning curve, but it was great learning experience knowing how different styles are going to work on that system and what's better than others, and how to kind of troubleshoot the different beer styles and ingredients. We're honored to partner with Smoke and Pickles managing our kitchen. We designed a food menu over years and years of our travels. So we actually came up with all the ideas, and the recipes were worked on with the chefs actually took all our ideas and elevated it drastically. We wanted something that was unique, not typical bar food. I always wanted a Belgian waffle sandwich, but fried chicken, pickle brined, and that was an idea we've always had for a long time. We thought, how are we going to make a waffle as a sandwich? It's going to be too thick and heavy. Well, the chefs they really nailed it. It's really delicious, and we have a croque madame. This is probably my favorite sandwich. It's a grilled Black Forest ham, Gruyere cheese, thick toasted white bread, beer cheese sauce, and a fried dippy egg. So it's a fork and knife sandwich, but it is incredible.
And trying to incorporate the beer in the recipes too. Like we have a stew that has our stout
New
in
Moon
it.
Stout. Golden Gaze is in our beer cheese. That's our cream ale. We're going to try and incorporate hops in the fries, hop oils, and try to take as much spent grain and incorporate the brewery side of things into the restaurant and vice versa. If there's things that they order in the kitchen that they have too much of, I can use it in the brewery on certain beers. So it's great to be able to work back and forth and cross-utilize things. It's been a great process. I really love brewing beer. I wanted to be a chef as a kid. I just happen to make soup and hope it ferments. So it's definitely something I'm passionate about, and I enjoy it. And seeing the customer side of things and seeing them enjoy themselves we've always been entertainers and like to throw parties at our house. And so now this is our ultimate dream of throwing a party every day and having as many people as we can come enjoy themselves with their families and friends.
Yeah, it does still seem surreal, really.
Yeah.
So kind of pinch yourself.
From a homebrew kit to selling out their beer, the guys at Iron Pint in Altoona have come a long way. Check them out in our Brewery Spotlight. Until next time. Cheers.
Jonathan Patton's the other owner. He said to me one night, it was New Year's, hey, do you want to bring your family over and we'll do a beer kit? And I was like, okay, let's try it. between the two of us, when we do something, it kind of grows really fast. So we started out just doing those beer kits, and then all of a sudden we're doing 10-gallon batches and 15, and we're using all grain. And then it's like, hey, do you want to start a brewery? And I was like, thought about it a little bit, and then one thing led to another, and 6 years later, we're here. We opened here April 24th of 2020, and we were ready for everybody to come in, and then the week before that, they said you can't have anybody in your building, so we were like, now what do we do? So we did a parking lot sale, and my wife ran back and forth through the parking lot, and we didn't anticipate how crazy it would be. I think people waited for like 40 minutes just to get their growler filled, because it was our first day. We didn't really think about it till after, and we sold out of I think 3 beers in that day, and it was only a 2 or 3 hour window, and we kicked a bunch of kegs, and it was just a good feeling when we could sit back and think about how much people came out to support us. We didn't have the name when we decided on this building, and then if you see the beam that's right above us, that's where the iron came from, and our logo is an I-beam with a pint glass. So that's kind of our main focal point. This building was all kinds of different businesses. I think there was an electric motor shop here, donut shop at one time. It was skills building. And then when we came in, that was pretty much all gone, and we were just left with a worn down building. And we pretty much gutted it and built it like it is now. Any of the woodwork you see in here, I would say we did. Before this, I like to do some woodworking and work on my house, and I had a job at the railroad, so I'd learned stuff there, but that's stuff that I like to do, so it was easy for me. I wouldn't say easy, but it was just easy. I had the tools to put the tables together and work on that and stuff. It takes time, but that's the part I like to do, and creating stuff, and beer's creating something. We brew pretty much everything. We do IPAs, we do hazy IPAs, we do lagers, we do ales. We've done the flavored beers like peanut butter and chocolate. And we just try and do something that anybody comes in here, doesn't matter who you are, hopefully you can find something you would want to try. People give us ideas, we ask for ideas, and it's like, hey, can you brew this? And we're like, yeah, we can try that. Or we say, do you have a name for a beer? And they'll give us a name, and we'll put a beer with that. So you name the beer, we'll brew the beer, and we ask for engagement from everybody. One of our flagships, I think, would be Star Hopper. It's a double IPA that we brew with all Comet hops. That's where the name comes from. It's got hints of grapefruit, and it comes back all the time. People love it, they ask for it. Our first lager we brewed, we called it the Iron Pint Lager because it turned out what we were hoping, and that one will be coming back soon too. It feels good when you walk in and you see what you've done. Us doing the work, I think, helped get us there, because then we had a reason to make it work, and it was a passion, and our heart's in it, and we just want people to come in every couple weeks or month and, hey, I didn't know that was here, something new, We're trying to branch out a little bit, and we're starting to can and bottle more stuff now to try and get that aspect, and we're starting to hit a few bars. The reception, people love it, and they keep coming back, and we're just happy, and it's great. We just love that people love coming in.